Hello, hello, hello from around the world. This is Weekly Insights with me, Dorothy Attema. This week, we are going to be looking at trauma. I recently watched a daily comedy show from the US, and they were showing how the level of rage has gone so high in the US. And they were showing how people are easily being triggered into physical fights in car parks, in supermarkets, anywhere in the parks where there were a multitude of people. People were so easily, over very little, just moving into a rage, into altercations. And the analysis was this is happening because of the political climate right now in the US. And they even had a professor from Yale, Dr. Jimmy Kimmel, coming to give some sort of what would be the way to work and to minimize the level of rage in the US. And he said forgiveness was the antidote, and he had a process in which he was recommending to use to go into forgiveness. So what has this got to do with what I want to talk about today, which is trauma? Well, in all fairness, all of us in the world have gone through something. We are not the same. Again, everybody knows that. I mean, it's not something I even need to talk about. But can you just imagine that there are children who are going to grow without grandparents from both sides? From both the father's side and the mother's side, people have lost loved ones. People have lost livelihood. And even this losing of loved ones was just not in a normal way. It was in some of it was in a very painful way, where the loved ones just died alone without even somebody to accompany them or to be there for them. So it is a year that all of us collectively have gone through something that is actually, it's like all of us have gone through some sort of trauma, even if you're just following the news and all the reports that were going on. And I want to use the definition of trauma for my sharing, which says that trauma is a response to any event that a person finds to be threatening to their life, or to be threatening, or response to an event that is highly stressful. With that definition, surely so many of us have been through that, have been through some traumatic, at whatever level, event that we have found is threatening to either our lives or our livelihood, or for our family relationships, or just very stressful events. But I must be quick to point out that not every stressful event results in a traumatic response. And what happens when you have trauma, you respond in ways that you relieve the traumatic event all the time, and even in experiencing trauma in that last 1 year, everybody experiences it at different level, because if you have been exposed to trauma before, then any little thing coming will trigger you again, will trigger and find a soft landing, because you've already had other traumatic experiences before. So that kind of, a person who has been exposed to trauma before definitely experienced the last 1 year at that level. Also, your character has a role to play, how you respond to any traumatic event, and also how you are able to handle emotions. And any traumatic event anybody goes through, some they will stay, the effect will stay for a day, 2 days, a week. For some people, or some events will stay for months, some will linger on for years. So we experience in all due respect at very different levels. But my suggestion is that we have been through a year that definitely we have experienced some level of trauma collectively, all of us in the world. And it is not fair to bury our head in the sand and deny it. I think if we accept that we've been through that, then it's going to help us with the way forward as the countries with the vaccination starting to be available to everyone, and the countries continue to open. Yeah, we need to understand this first before we move on, because it's going to be as difficult as it was when the lockdown came, how it was difficult for us to adjust into lockdowns. I'm just coming out from an 8 months lockdown here in Europe. I mean, just as it was difficult to adjust to lockdown, let's not forget, for some people, it's going to be the same difficult to come out of the lockdown. It's going to take as much as it was to adjust to lockdown, to adjust into going back into normal life, if there's ever going to be anything like normal. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this, because when we are aware, then we can be able to take care of our mental health. And in the next segment, I'm going to come up with some suggestions as the countries open, and as we go back, and as we are aware that we have been through a traumatic experience, and that we might find ourselves experiencing not meeting our expectations, how we were expecting for life to go after the lockdowns open. Maybe you struggle, that you'll be knowing, why am I struggling? And be compassionate with yourself and not beat yourself, and we take it at the stride. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video. I believe you enjoyed it. Just hit the like button to show that you did. Also, don't forget to click on the subscribe key and hit the notification button so that you'll be the first to know when new content is uploaded on our weekly insights.